Hey everybody, this is a what if Deku had a dragon quirk. I got this idea from a what if Deku had Kaido's powers from Insane Monster 199, which is a good what if YouTuber. I recommend him to anybody who, you know, wants probably a better version. What I mean by better is better delivered. Um, anyway, I'm going to cover this up. Sorry for the background noise. I've been sleeping at night, so you know, I can't really do it at night if I'm asleep when everyone else is asleep. So, sorry for the background noise. Let's get to it. What if Deku had a Dragon Quirk Part 2? Now, everything goes normal. They go back to school on Monday, it is clarified. Everyone finds out. He shows everybody. Everyone ends up, coming to, quickly want to see what it can do and everything. Although Deku typically will not use his heat, his fire in an attack state, he'll mostly use it for a burst. Although it is pretty hot, man, compared, to, it's around 300, but, that's just fire at the lowest. But it mostly hits with a hard boom. Anyway, Deku goes and he, everything goes normal. He becomes, him, Froppy, and Bakugo hangs out once in a while. But Froppy's not a big fan of Bakugo. Y'all can imagine why. Even though Bakugo's nowhere near as bad as he is in canon. Deku's not he's not really flustered by being around girls in this timeline. Because, once his quirk came out, girls began to want to pet him and everything else all the time. So he got accustomed to it. Not including it felt nice when they petted his mane. And they brushed his mane and everything. So he would just lay there and let him do it when no one had work. Because they all had free time. A lot of the time. And he would go to sleep while he did this. Typically at recess. Anyway. This happened until they were 6.5. And over the time, Bakugo has noticed something weird about his fur. When he feels tense, it gets, it's still movable, flexible and everything, but he cannot get to his, skin. Deku doesn't really fluster in this version. You cannot tell if he's flushed, especially in his dragon form, all that easily. So, you just gotta tell by how his fur is reacting. And it's like a defensive state. Bakugo one time tried to forcibly remove this just to see what would happen when he was tense. And he got shocked. He thought that was weird, but the teacher said it's probably due to the static building up from his hair. Rubbing against each other so much. Anyway, where everything goes around, normal. But when they're 6.5, they get attacked. They get jumped by 2 bullies at school. Well, Bakugo begins to fight one. And when I say bullies, I mean much older bullies, like 3 years older. And that kid just really had just some, not really that good, but quirk. Mostly one that's just resistant to, it's like a light fire resistance. So, that wasn't a very good matchup against Bakugo. When I say light, I mean it could handle up to around 400 degrees, 400 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Bakugo ended up beating him up with, force. Deku, on the other hand, tried to restrain his opponent while being, stressed out. The kid proceeded to use his quirk, which was a claw quirk, which made his claw stronger than steel, strong as steel at the time. Which was not really a good quirk since he did not having super strength or agility, although he was fairly decent. This kid goes to a different school, by the way. They were just going through. At least not yet. He's not very strong. Anyway, I'll decide whether I throw him in a hero course of one of the schools later. Anyway, he tries to claw Deku, and when he does, Deku feels it pressing and he freaks out, squeezes him, and produces basically a little lightning bolt from his body. And when I say little, I mean like a lightning bolt coming from his body. Electrocutes the crap out of the kid. Completely knocks him out. And, singeing some of his hair. Like when I say singeing, I mean like, when you get hit by a high voltage on one of your hairs and it kind of like singes? That's what I mean. That was only from the hairs that he was touching. Anyway. Deku and him, then he headbutts the kid. A panic state. They get sent to the office. Everything gets strained out there. That they defend themselves. They get warned. Then Deku's mom has to take him up to, Ingo has to take him up to the hospital again to get him checked out. And finds out not only does his fur produce from static, and he's able to control it, but he's been controlling it kind of suppressing from our instinct all this time. He didn't really have, not our instinct or suppressing, it's just that he had no reason to really bring it out like that. His body produces, like his innards and everything, produces a crap ton. Now, let's skip to all the way until, let's say, 8 years old. And Deku and Bakugo have become really popular. And since Bakugo is not as cocky, meanly cocky, he's still cocky as could be. He's still prideful, but he's not as mean. He doesn't constantly insult everybody like a bully. Although he does call them mean nicknames. That's his thing, and he's cocky. Just that and prideful. Anyway, there's a villain attack. A villain with a quirk that allows him to, that causes him to produce this armor-like substance and a very muscular body all over him. He has a muscular body and thick armor. This armor is extremely good against electricity, too. And that's why he was fighting, was a hero with a electric quirk. If you know the hero from, technically a mutant, kind of. Anyway, this one person from, he's called Black Lightning from the DC universe. He does not produce the electricity, he absorbs it and collects it and holds it. If he uses too much, it can and will kill him. And if he starts later in life, he actually has a problem where he begins to run out. Like his body wasn't absorbing it, so he had to get a big old charge from his daughter. But anyway, that's not important. Anyway, the hero is almost completely out of energy. And there is the villain knocks one of the pillars holding the building up because this building's been damaged. It was a music video. A place with a music store in the bottom. And, it was a whole bunch of different musics and different things like that on the top. Well, by then, a family just got out. A mother, a father, and a daughter. And, by this time, Deku's as long as he's about the length of a truck. And, he's fairly strong. Need to say, I'm going to resume this later. I know it's a cliffhanger. It'll be up in a couple hours. So, yeah.